Our guest speaker is Dr. Reuel Khoza.
Mine is a much simpler task this time around. It's not about sharing my story, it's about sharing Dr. Khoza's, benefiting from Dr. Khoza's story and help you benefit from it in facilitating. That's the task I've been given. And this is the reason why my journey in life has become so interesting. Without further ado, Dr. Khoza, let me begin by thanking you for availing yourself to talk to this esteemed audience, being an esteemed individual yourself. Let us start by giving you an opportunity, just to delve straight into the current issues in the country. The issue of leadership. You've openly been very critical of our current leadership in South Africa with regards to allegations of state capture, with mismanagement of state-owned entities, and a number of other things. And as an acknowledged expert in corporate governance, where did we go wrong? What happened? Why are we here? How did you get here?
I guess there are a number of explanations as to how we got here and as to why, as far back as 2011, I chose to voice my criticism of the political leadership of today. Where did we go wrong? I guess perhaps in a number of areas. One, we got off to a very, very good start where the leadership of President Mandela was concerned, in terms of a vision, in terms of moral authority. Because merely having the vision and merely having the requisite ability does not make you a potentially good leader. You must have moral authority. He was succeeded by Mbeki, who in my book also had a measure of moral authority, but also was a technocrat. He was knowledgeable. And the leadership that came a little later probably had popularity. Now, popularity is not unsavory, but if popularity transforms itself into populism, where people rely not on knowledge but on slogans, and the like, you wind up with things going totally wrong. My expectation in 2007, where that emergency leadership was concerned, was for it to meet at least 3 to 5 criteria. One was that in the 21st century we are going to deal with complexity. Now, when I looked at those at the helm at the time, I was not satisfied that they actually have the requisite conceptual basket to be able to deal with complexity. Second, I expected that leadership to be able to lead in a globalizing environment, understanding globality as it were. Third, I expect them to articulate a set of values on which they are in fact anchored. And fourthly, I expected them to actually articulate a vision of where they meant to take the political economy. I looked for that in vain. And in virtually no time, I saw a disintegrating on the issue of moral authority. That's why I spoke about the need for a moral quotient, which is just as important as the IQ. And there is a sense in which where the moral quotient was concerned, because of them relying on political largesse, because of them relying on, as it were, appointing people on the basis not of ability, but on the basis of do you agree with me or are you going to do my bidding? Instead of employing people, they chose to deploy people. And for me, deployment will take you to a destination you don't want to go to, because it is not based on meritocracy. It's based on something else. Meritocracy says, are you able to deliver or are you not? And in virtually no time, I saw a number of things crumbling around that. For me, sound leadership is predicated on a sound value system and is beckoned by a well-articulated vision, which emanates from a sense of destiny. I look around for that, I didn't see anywhere.
Yeah, thank you very much. You've mentioned a number of things. Among them, you touch on the attributes of the kind of leadership that you would have loved to see. And your criteria talks to being able to address the complexities of the current times, operating in a globalized environment. Let's stick to values, perhaps. The concept of Ubuntu is something I'm told you're very passionate about as an African leader. Some might argue that it is too idealistic to think that Ubuntu can transform business and governments. How do you think this concept fits into the values that you have made mention of?
I think it essentially fits perfectly. The concept of Ubuntu effectively says there's nothing wrong with profits, but it actually insists on putting people first. And the best of corporations actually understand that making profits is essentially a byproduct of managing and leading people first. So Ubuntu effectively says putting people first. And wherever I've had an opportunity to provide leadership, either as a chairman or as a director, I insisted on substantive investment on human potential. And it is the manifestation of that human potential that moves from capability to ability that actually leads to profitability. Now, Ubuntu is predicated on the concept Ubuntu Ngabantu. In other words, whether you find yourself in leadership or you find yourself in followership or you find yourself in an organization or you find yourself in politics, your leadership, your management is actually prized out of the community. So I insist on people actually operating communally, and that differs from community. Communalism actually says express yourself like you would express yourself as a star cricketer. As a star cricketer, you are part of the cricket team, but you can shine. But shine in the context of other humanity. Ubuntu says find expression from other people. It differs a great deal from the Cartesian concept of I think, therefore I am. You cannot say you think, therefore you are, because of the things that you imagine in the high citadels of your privacy. Because even the thinking that you manifest to be utilizing that gives you humanity, the concepts are human concepts. When you came here, you had no concept whatsoever. You actually learned the concepts from humanity. So everything that you do, in essence, is prized out of the community that gave you expression, that gave you birth, that gave you the opportunity, that can in fact even take the opportunity from you. So Ubuntu is actually anti-rabid individualism and pro-optimization that comes from synergy.
Mr. Khoza, it is clear you really are talking from experience and talking from the heart. Not only have you sat on several boards, but you are also a visiting professor at a number of business schools, including Wits Business School. And you find time also as a farmer, a family man, an author, and I'm told a musician or a music producer. What's your secret to managing your time? Share with us.
What I've discovered in my life is that people who have time are the busy people. I come from a family of 7. 3 of my brothers are essentially floating as just a sea of circumstances, but they claim they don't have time. I work on average 10 to 14 hours a day. For me, working is a way of life. It's a lifestyle. Working is not something that I consider pain. It is a way of life. That's why I insist on diversity. But I could say that part of what I owe that to is my upbringing. I was brought up largely by my grandparents, and my grandparents would inculcate in me a work ethic that effectively says that if you rest and you're not tired, you are not resting. Rest is a state that you earn by dint of being tired. If you rest without earning rest by dint of fatigue, you are not resting, you are indolent. So I grew up with that kind of value system that says work is a way of life. And where governance is concerned, because also touched on that, the person that spoke before me here is my mentor. He and I have been working together for close on 25 years. And even as I speak now, I'm president of the Institute of Directors, and he's my deputy. He heads up the King Code, and I am his deputy. So there is a sense in which even the code that people read that guide even the JSA, we try to spearhead together, but work as a very, very big team. Even that is informed by my belief in Ubuntu. Can I just flag a number of dimensions of that I believe you'll be able to read about, because they are at the introduction of the latest report on King Code. The mnemonic device that I use is iCraft. The first thing that you need to make sure that you actually master or you take into account is integrity from iCraft. The second item, which is represented by the C, is competence. All too often people want to lead without the requisite competence. They don't even have a sense of efficacy, but they would like to lead. So competence, which gives you credibility, very, very important. The next dimension would in fact be responsibility from iCraft. Unless you pledge to be responsible, unless you pledge to deliver in a sense that says I am sensitive and I have a sense of responsibility, I want to believe you should not even accept a position as a director. Next, after the R in iCraft would be accountability. Unless in fact you mean to be accountable to those that you are supposed to be serving, don't step onto the leadership plate, don't step onto the directorship plate. Next will be the F, which is in fact fairness. Unless you evidence the fairness that stems from Ubuntu, don't pretend you are going to provide the kind of leadership that will command respect. And the final dimension will be transparency. You should be open. So iCraft, in a very, very short sense, would be what I believe should serve as something of a guide where leadership is concerned, not only in terms of corporate governance, even political governance. If you take into account all of those dimensions, which I could elaborate on, into account in providing leadership, I believe you wind up providing the kind of leadership that South Africa and humanity actually requires.
Profound words indeed. Now, Dr. Khoza, there is a word that is bandied around more often in our country about transformation. I'm not too sure whether we should be veering into radical economic transformation or we should be talking just transformation. But how do you see the role of business in the transformation and the renaissance of our continent?
I think the role of business is key. One of the things that our various leaderships have tended to fall short on is in terms of leading a country. You are not leading a polity, neither are you leading an economy. You are actually leading a political economy. And you need to understand both. More often than not, as I try to observe those who purport to be our political leaders, a good number of them, I don't believe, have read beyond the first chapter of an economics textbook. So there is a sense in which they come in without the requisite knowledge, without the requisite equipment. politics and economics should actually work together in perfect tandem. So if you could repeat your question in the context of that, I believe I could answer it a lot more specifically.
You actually have, to a very great extent,
About transformation.
yes.
Yes.
But also the renaissance of, what do you see the role of business in transformation?
So given the perfect tango I'm talking about, the role of business is key. Now, business is part of a socializing influence. Business is part of a reward system. Business is part of that which actually leads to productivity and production. And if you want to transform a political economy, business has got to come to the fore. My understanding is that our political leadership should actually provide the requisite regulatory framework which is enabling. And more often than not, I'm afraid, they actually provide a regulatory framework that is a handicap. I don't want to talk about the kinds of problems that I've had as an entrepreneur, but for the past 4.5 years, I wanted to build a regional commercial center. And bureaucracy made sure that I could not even start. I've raised the requisite capital, I have the requisite skill, I have all of the partners that I need to do that. And this commercial center I'm talking about would be a shopping mall, would be a private hospital, would be a hotel, would be a civic center. All of the capital was raised. And I applied to the authorities that are supposed to be providing the regulatory framework that enables. When I applied for that in Malaysia, the turnaround time would have been 48 hours. In South Africa, the turnaround time, and it's not even reached at this stage, it's 4.5 years. I hope that by the end of this 6th year, I shall have been given the green light to actually build that which would create employment during construction. It would create employment for no less than 2,000 people. And on a permanent basis, on a direct basis, it would actually create employment for 2,500. But government bureaucracy stands on the way. We talk of transformation. I believe transformation should start with government. Government should actually not only be sensitive, it should also be responsive to those that they purport to lead. They should also be facilitating and not be a hindrance. So if you talk about radical economic transformation, I believe it's got to start from those who are very vociferous in articulating that particular slogan. For them, essentially, it's a slogan. It does not lead to production. It does not lead to results. But where business is concerned, I believe there's a lot that we can actually do. Those corporations that I have had occasion to lead take ESCOM of those days. I'm not talking about the ESCOM that's contemporary. By the time I left ESCOM, we had been rated above the sovereign, more credit rated than the country. We had declared a dividend of 1.6 billion to government. We had also been voted the Global Power Company of the Year. And the lubricant to that is to go back to the humanity, was that humanity. But I want to talk about transformation. By the time I left, we had produced no less than 39 young women with master's degrees that they actually acquired from my alma mater, Warwick University. And they were employed in the various power stations. Even the first female power station manager was when I was out there. That for me is transformation. The board was 40% women and 60%, men. They actually resist change as it were. We resist change. The same thing when I left Nedbank. The board was fully transformed, and Nedbank for 3 years running was voted the most transformed major corporation in South Africa.
You have touched, Dr. Khoza, on state-owned entities and ESCOM in particular. But if we were to broaden the question out, what do you think is lacking in our state-owned enterprises? You've mentioned the term between the public and the private sector, but also in not so many words, it was clear that you were saying that government needs to play its role of creating an environment conducive to flourishing business, but at the same time that business also needs to have a social heart in order to be able to deliver in a manner that serves the interests of the country. What's missing in our state-owned entities that is privatizing an answer? If not, what's the solution?
I think state-owned enterprises must understand that the noun in state-owned enterprises is enterprise. They are essentially businesses. State-owned is essentially just a descriptive. At core, state-owned enterprises must be run by business people. You cannot go and recruit cousins and nephews and other similarly placed people. I'm not going to use crude language, but people who actually, apart from the fact that they breed, and apart from the fact that they might actually be having a lousy metric certificate, the only qualification they have is one that can be described as nepotism. And you give them responsibility to run a state-owned enterprise whose net asset value is in the billions. And ESCOM is 350 to 400 billion rands replacement value. You cannot give it to somebody who has not even sold a bag of potatoes at a profit and say to them, we believe you are well qualified to actually run it. So make sure that whoever you populate your state-owned enterprises with as people who are executives are qualified as in business people.